Hello viewers, I welcome you to the creative and amazing world of mime. The first thought or question that must be arising in your mind must be that what is mime? Mime is a creative, dramatic body expression. In mime, you express your feelings and emotions through expressions and actions of your body without using spoken language. In other words, you can say that mime is a silent acting. It has its own style and techniques. At its most basic, mime is mimicry performed by an actor or comedian who specializes in the art of narration, portrayal of character, ideas, or moods by body movements alone. However, Marcel Marceau says mime is not the art of mimicry, it is the art of recreation. He is referring to mime as the art of creating the illusion of reality by movement and positions of the body, plus the art of imagining the world together with an audience. Before proceeding further, we ought to know the historical development of mime. Mime is considered to be one of the earliest mediums of self-expression. There are evidences that before the origin of the spoken language, mime was used to communicate as to what the primitive people wanted from the outside world. Instead of fading into obscurity at the development of the spoken language, mime had become a form of entertainment. The first usage of mime as a part of organized theatre was in the Orient Age, where mimed action had been a part of the national theatre of Japan and China. It then developed into a true theatrical form in ancient Greece, where performers enacted everyday scenes with the help of elaborate gestures. The principal mimes were known as ethologues, and the scenes they performed would teach moral lessons. The Greeks presented farcical mime shows in their fall and spring theatre festivals. The Romans continued the use of mime after the fall of Greeks and subsequently broadened these mime pieces into exaggerated popular dumb shows. Mime enjoyed much success and growth under Emperor Augustus of Rome. After the fall of the Roman Empire, the Christian Church showed great opposition to the bawdy and often indecent associations of mime, even as it excommunicated all the performers and shut down all the theatres. Despite this, the basic form of mime survived. As the church began to relax its attitude, mystery and morality plays began to appear with religious themes. Many of these performed through mime. Mime continued to entertain through the Middle Ages and reached its height in 16th century in Italy in the form of Commedia dell'arte. Commedia dell'arte originated in the marketplaces of the Italian streets in the early 15th. Street performers began donning masks with exaggerated comical features to draw attention to them and to complement their acrobatic skills. The characters they created became affectionately known as Zani. It wasn't until two Zani performers teamed up that Commedia dell'arte really took roots, and by 1550 it had become a firmly established genre. The first two characters, Arlecchino and Brigella, were portrayed as belonging to the serving class and Pantalone belonging to the master class. The performing troupes were accessible to all social classes, and the subject matter was always contemporary. With the mask concealing their identity, the performers could ridicule any aspect of society and its institutions. The performers from other countries began to imitate the Zani style. In 1576, Flamino Scala went to France, where the art of mime became immensely popular. Many of the traditional gestures and figures, such as Harlequin, became familiar at this time. The Renaissance period brought about the rebirth of mime as a significant dramatic form, and mime rerouted in 16th century in Italy and later in 18th century in England. In England, during the Elizabethan period and thereafter, mime gained a strong foothold with the court masque, the court jesters, and later clowns in Shakespearean comedies. Mime was widely enjoyed in England during 18th century. John Rich introduced Italian mime to England. In 1800, mime had become a familiar medium for dramatic entertainment. The NOH theatre in Japan, the Commedia dell'arte in Italy, and the melodramas in France and America provided stages for mime performers. In 1811, Jean Gaspard was engaged to perform at the Funambules on the Boulevard du Temple in Paris. He remained at this theatre until his death, and during this time he converted the crude slapstick form of mime into an art form that is known as today. Gaspard was a master of his art and was responsible for creating the lovesick Pierrot, the internal seeker. Mime received new impetus after the First World War from the great Jacques Copeau, Charles Dullin, Ethne de Croix, and Jean-Louis Barrault. After the Second World War, Marcel Marceau, a pupil of de Croix at the Dullin School, emerged on the scene. He created his own special character known as Bip, who is a familiar sight with his short jacket, a top hat, and a flower sticking out. Bip was a character similar to Pierrot, a downtrodden character who could sometimes win but would always end up at the bottom of the ladder. Influenced by the silent film stars like Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton, Marceau was the architect of a totally new style and tradition, the true creator and master of modern mime as we understand it today. Basically, there are two major types of mime, literal and abstract, or a combination of both. These types are evident in all schools of mime. Literal mime is widely performed and recognized across the world and better known of the two types. It is primarily used for comedy and story theatre. The literal mime has the following characteristics. It is plot-centered, that is, it tells a story. It has a central character to which the audience can relate. It has a story built on conflict. The conflict takes the form of a series of obstacles or struggles. It strives to make every detail of the story clear to the audience. The physical techniques employed in literal mime are designed to create a literal illusion. A pull of a rope indicates that a rope is being pulled, and a push on the wall indicates that it is being pushed. It is designed to be visually interesting. The second type of mime is the abstract mime. It is used to generate feelings, thoughts, and images from a serious topic or issue. Normally, there is no plot or central character. It is considered a more intuitive experience or image rather than literal actions. Like literal mime, abstract mime has the following 6 characteristics. It has a subject or topic. It is an abstract piece that represents a point of view towards a subject. The characterization in abstract mime is not realistic. An abstract piece is built through images instead of action. It is centered in symbolism. It is visually interesting to watch. The abstract mime does not tickle the heart with laughter the way literal mime does. Instead, it messages the heart and feelings. Pantomime is the art of creating the illusion of reality by dealing with imaginary objects or situations. Its art rests on the ability to imply weight, texture, line, rhythm, and force to the air around them. Mime, on the other hand, is the art of acting silently through various kinds of theatrical movements. Now look at these points. Pantomime. It is a comic mime performance. It is broad movement style. It has a piece with a central character. It is characterized by realistic style. And on the other hand, the mime is a serious performance. It portrays a subtle movement style. It has a piece without a central character. It is characterized by abstract style. Now let me demonstrate before you the difference between pantomime and mime. I shall be discussing some important exercises of mime. I sign off for the time being and leave you with this beautiful piece of mime. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.